All right, buddy. So, what's your name and where are you from?
What's up, bro? My name Bill. They call me Bill Feezy on YouTube. I'm from Detroit, Michigan.
Detroit, Michigan. I just left Detroit not too long ago. I did a little collaboration with the urban Detroit Urban Threat Management. Have you heard of that guy?
Nah, I don't think so.
Oh man, you need to check him out when this is done. So, ladies and gentlemen, I found out about this individual through a video on TikTok. I don't even know if it was your TikTok. It might have just been. Was it someone that just kind of screenshotted your video or something?
My TikTok got so many followers. You might have seen mine. Might have somebody probably reposted it. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. I think it might have been a repost or either way. The names in the video that I was reacting to, but it was the notorious honey bun situation. Hey, is that one of your more popular videos?
Actually, that's one of the least popular.
Really? What? Well, what? So what do you do? Do you do all kinds of varieties of comedy or what?
Um, well, with the comedy, bro, my mind is like so creative. I might just be chilling and think of something hilarious, and I just record it. Or like with that honey bun situation, I was in the prison. That actually happened to somebody
Oh man.
real, but it didn't happen to me. It was some people that was in a few rooms away from me, and it
Yeah.
was a big, big, big situation about it. So I just went and made a joke about it.
What made you go there? Were you kind of comedian in prison and stuff like that?
Yeah, I've been kind of like a comedian since probably 9 or 10 years old, man.
Just goofing around, huh?
Yeah, it was crazy. My mom's friends used to actually pay me to recite Bernie Mac jokes when I was like 10 or 11 years old.
Damn, rest in peace, old Bernie Mac, man. All right, so obviously, yeah, you went to prison. Well, let's talk about that. Well, let's talk about a little bit before the prison, man. What led you down this dark path of crime?
Really, just my my role models, role models background, just the way I came up. Like when I was 13 years old was the first time I was really introduced to, living this type of way.
Yeah,
And it was just an ongoing thing up until years later till I got locked up.
I mean, was it appealing to you? I'm guessing that's why you went that way.
Yeah, most definitely was appealing.
What was appealing about it?
It was just the thrill of the, I guess, how quick I can make money without having to go to work and work 40 hours to get paid, when
Yeah,
I can go do something and get more than that check in like 2 minutes.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, that could be addictive too, right? Uh, I mean, did you spend any time in juvie? Did you have a bad time in high school or school? What was up with all that?
I never went to juvie. High school, yeah, I used to get in trouble. I used to get suspended all the time. Middle school, really. I used to get suspended all the time out of middle school.
Yeah,
Um, Most of the time it was for me skipping class. It wasn't really too much trouble in school, but it was more so for me. I used to get caught skipping. I wasn't the smartest skipper in the world.
yeah. I love skipping class. I ain't gonna lie, man. I did all the time. Barely graduated because I skipped so much. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you said it like it was a sport or something.
Hey, it kind of was back then. You know what I mean? So, how old were you when you got your first felony?
My first felony, I was 18.
18. Is that what sent you to penitentiary?
Yeah, that's one of, because I had several charges pending. So once I went to the penitentiary, primarily, I still had a bunch of charges pending. I had to come back for.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I was 18 when I first got the felony.
And what were those felonies?
It was all right. I had 6 armed robberies altogether, but with each armed robbery came along with possession of a firearm during commission of a crime, hijacking, and I think that's it. Hijacking and possession of a firearm during commission of a crime, along with the armed robbery. So that's like six times three. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and this is
Like,
in Michigan.
no, this is in Georgia.
Oh, okay. Well, when did you go to Georgia?
All right, so we came to Georgia when I was like 12 years old.
Oh, okay, okay. Is that where the influences began?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to say yeah for the most part because I was around stuff in Detroit, but it wasn't until I turned 13 where I was actually put in position, where I could participate in stuff myself. So we were living in Atlanta in a bad area.
Oh
And
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, well, let me ask you this, man. Would you say the crime and stuff like that? Not really the crime, but just like the peer pressure or the people around you in Atlanta compared to Detroit, was it worse or better? Like,
well, this is kind of crazy, but I think that the far as the crime, I think it's slightly like neck and neck, depending on the part of Atlanta you're in. But for me, I think it was like more, I'm not gonna say peer pressure, but in Michigan, I was the youngest, right?
yeah,
I'm around all family, like cousins, uncles, aunties, everything. So like if my mom gotta go to work and work a 12-hour shift, I'm kind of like protected. Like everybody look at me like the baby. So, they checking on me, they coming to see me, this and this. So when we come to Atlanta,
you're a little
it's just
older.
me. It's just me and my big brothers. That's it. And my big brothers was in the streets. So when my mama leave and go work a 12 or 16-hour shift, I just got my big brothers and they like, huh, this was going on.
Dang,
Yeah.
that's wild as shit, man. Okay. You said you ain't do no juvie time. Were you prepared for jail? Did you have any issues in jail or what?
I definitely had a few fights in jail. Just me being the guy in there, don't nobody know. And when you come through, these people been in this dorm together for a long time. They facing murders and armed robberies. So they been in here, they all know each other.
Yeah.
And it's like almost like a sport for people. Like if we're in jail and we just bored and we cool with each other and a new guy come in, it's finna be fun to us to kind of pick with you real quick and see, you know what I'm saying? So I spent 10 months in the county jail before I got sentenced. I definitely had a few situations in the county.
Yeah, I mean, are you able to talk about any of them? You know, any fights you lost or won or crazy situations you can break down?
Oh yeah, the I think the very first fight I got into in the county jail, man.
Oh, man.
It's funny, but it's for real.
Well, look, before you get into that story, look, were you prepared for any of this at all? Like, did
No,
your brothers school you in jail? That's wild.
see, my big brothers was the type like they were in the streets heavy, but and they were in and out of jail, but they always managed to, they might get locked up for something that they gonna be out the next day or a few hours. They weren't in there except for one, and this was almost around the same time as me. They didn't do no real time. So they didn't really give me no pointers or nothing besides the stuff I already know, like, mind your business, stay to yourself, stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, so you're going into jail unprepared, not knowing what to expect, and you're getting into your first fight story, man. How the hell did how did this unfold?
Bro, I think it's so funny because, all right, I was 18, just getting ready to turn 19. This is my first time ever being in jail.
Mm-hmm.
They bring me in the dorm at nighttime. The dorm was already locked down. They put me in the room with a guy, and we don't match up so much. They usually match you up with weight and height. So if there
Oh, they
is a,
do?
yeah, they usually try to. So, if there is a fight or something, it's like it's even for both people. Like we can both defend.
Okay, okay.
Man, listen,
Was a white dude? They put you in there, a white guy?
listen. It's an old white guy.
Oh, man.
He's about 300 pounds.
Oh man.
He had a like a brace or something on his leg.
Oh
He
man.
kind of like handicapped off. It was a handicapped cell.
Hold on, man. I forgot we were talking about the first fight. Oh man, no, you ain't beat this handicap man, did you, man?
It
Hold
was
on,
a
it's a handicap cell. Okay, so what the hell kind of attachments this thing have?
so when you walk in the room,
Mm-hmm.
it got like rails on both sides of the wall where he can grab onto. Then on both sides of the toilet, it was
Damn,
things to grab onto to sit down. I just didn't like it.
he's
As soon as
railed
I
out in
walked,
there.
yeah, so I'm like, I know I'm gonna have to get out of here. He had like a big cast on his leg. He walked with a real heavy limp. He was kind of like handicapped, like. And I went in there and off the dribble, I could tell he wasn't feeling me. You know what I'm saying? He just looking at me crazy. Attitude, everything is attitude. We managed to be in a room for like a good week together.
Yeah.
And when I got my commissary, I just noticed like about my candy bars because I used to love Reese's cups. I
Uh
used to
huh.
love them and I used to count them. And I noticed I was missing one day.
Oh shit,
And I
man.
was thinking like, I might be tripping though, because I know I'd be eating them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah,
So what I did, I counted them purposely. I had like 8 in there and I didn't touch them. And I'm just, doing my thing throughout the day. And I come back in there and it was 7.
Oh man.
So I know for a fact somebody got it. So he's just laid back in the bed reading the book.
Oh shit.
So I asked him, I'm like, ain't nobody came in here and went inside my box or whatever. He's just like, I don't know. He ain't even look at me. You know what I'm saying? So it started to make me mad, bro. So I'm like, bro, I really think you know what I'm saying? You done went in my room. You came in my box and been stealing the candy bars. So he looked over at me. He had on some glasses. He looked over at me. He pulled the glasses off and he just went to talking and jumping up. He talking about, I've been locked up in this jail for 2 years. I ain't never stole nothing. And the man was getting up and he got up and was coming in my face like that, bro. I thought he was finna do something to me. But the thing that makes it funny now that wasn't back then, I hit him and he like went back on the bed and fell down on the bed. And I didn't attack him. I was just standing there talking like, I know you stole my stuff. And man, the thing to his leg, like the cast thing on his leg, he had something else that goes around his leg. It wasn't hard, but it was heavy. Like, can you imagine a real heavy Velcro or something? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And it was something to wrap around his leg, I guess. And man, before I know it, he grabbed it from the side of the bed and swung it at me.
yeah.
And
Damn.
when he hit me with it, it just stung. It didn't really hurt, but it stung real bad.
Uh
And the man got up and started swinging it at me. So I'm running back, trying not to get hit
huh.
by this.
By his brace.
Every swing was real bad. We end up outside the
Man, them
room.
things got rough ends, man. That shit's like a cat with 9 tails. What is it, cat of 9 tails?
When I think about it, it looks so funny because here I am. It's like I'm running from this old fat Santa Claus lookalike. I'm running back, and he's limping, chasing me, swinging.
Oh man, oh
Bruh,
man.
I eventually was able to snatch it from him. I started hitting him back with it. They seen us on the camera, and they came in and took me to the hole and left him in there.
That's crazy, man. He did steal that Reese cup for
Yeah,
sure, man.
I know it did. When I got my property in the hole, I didn't have not one Reese cup.
Oh man, he took them when they were packing you up,
He
man.
took every single one.
Hey, that's another thing too. I haven't even talked about that much on this channel. You get in trouble and lock up like that. There's some I've seen blocks where dudes would rush the cell as soon as you get hemmed up and they take you to the hole. They rush the cell and take everything you got. And I've seen like 5 or 6 like seagulls going in that shit. First fight in jail over some Reese cuts. My first fight was over a brownie with peanuts. Them damn things were delicious.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite snacks. I done fought about.
Okay, so I mean, were you pretty much getting the hang of lockup by that time, or what?
Yeah, just I probably say I was in the county for about a month before I really felt like I got it. I understand. I got the hang of it. I know what to do, what not to do. It all makes sense. I understand it now.
I mean, how was that first experience in the hole?
Man, it was driving me crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Never been through nothing to the point where like I'm locked in a room. In this hole, you don't got two roommates.
Yeah.
You're in there by yourself. So
Uh
I'm
huh.
locked in the hole. I can't see nobody. I can't talk to nobody. They don't let you use the phone. Then they don't let you go to commissary in the hole.
Yep.
You got to just eat whatever the prison serve you. I was in there going crazy. Man, I was pacing back and forth, talking to myself, beating on the wall, trying to make raps. I thought I was a rapper, everything.
That's wild to think, man. I've been in the same position before, and
Yeah.
you really got to figure out ways to kill time, man. You got to be strong minded, for sure.
Yeah. I think the next craziest thing was I had got a roommate. I was in another dorm and I had a roommate came in the middle of the night.
Uh huh.
I was in there knocked out sleep, and the officer woke me up and told me I got a roommate coming in. So I let him come in. The officer closed the door and left. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning. He threw all his property on the top bunk and was like, "Hey, bro, check this out." And went to beating on the wall,
Uh huh. Out of
rap
nowhere.
out of nowhere. So I don't know if he halfway crazy or what. But I'm like, bro, I was just knocked out sleep before you came in.
Oh man, he's
I
losing it.
don't I don't care about no damn rap. You better get up there and go to sleep. So he goes to trying to argue with me, talking about he been working on this rap. I think he has some mental
Yeah, he
issues.
had to have.
He talking about he been working on this rap for so long. And I'm like, how is he not understanding that? I was asleep. I don't know you. And we went to arguing and we ended up fighting.
That same night, or did it take a couple
Yeah.
nights?
Nah, that exact same night we ended up
Damn.
and I couldn't go back to sleep, bro, until the doors popped the next morning. So after we fought, he went over there and was like sitting on the toilet area watching me, and I'm sitting on the bed watching him, and we watching each other all night. And every time, like
Oh
he
my
might get up,
god, bro.
might get up to stretch, but as soon as he get up, I jump up too because I don't know what he got going on.
Oh man, y'all were on terms like that.
Man, probably until the doors opened, which wasn't until like 5:30. So we was sitting in there. I know about an hour and a half, just staring each other down.
Is it? Cause, I mean that, and nobody, said no kind words to try to kill it or squash it or nothing. Y'all just mean mugging each other.
Yeah, we ain't say no. I just kept saying, bro. I just kept telling him, like, bro, you tripping, bro. And he told me, no, I ain't tripping. That's why I said I think something was wrong with him.
Yeah,
But
yeah. That's that's
soon as
that's a scary situation though. Believe it or not, man.
soon as the doors opened that next morning for breakfast, I got up off the bed and I stood like in between the door. And I told him, I'm like, bro, you got to get out of here. You know we can't be in the room together. You got to get out of here. And he was like, yeah, I'm about to go. He got up and he reached for his property. And he talked about, you need to get back, though, so I could walk past. He didn't want to walk past me. He
Yeah.
think wang on him or something.
Well, let's fast forward a bit to sentencing day, man. I mean, did you take some kind of plea or anything, or were you expecting how much time you were gonna get, or was it unexpected?
All right, yeah. So the very first plea that was offered to me, 25 years.
Damn.
I refused it, of course. And a couple months later, they came back with, I think it was 13 years. It was like it was a 20 to 13. They call it split sentences in Georgia. I don't know if other states do that, but
Yeah, I ain't heard of
it's,
that.
yeah, it's a split sentence in Georgia, 20 to 13. So I refused that. And like a week later, they came back and said a 20 to 7. No, it was a 15 to 7. So basically saying you're getting sentenced to 15 years, but you're going to spend 7 of them in the prison, and then the remaining years is on probation.
Yeah, suspended sentence. Yeah.
Right. So my family was so against it, bro. My mom, all my brothers, they did not want me to take a plea. Because they was looking at it like, you just got armed robbery. It ain't like you got murdered. You ain't got to take no plea. Let's just take them to trial.
First offense too as well.
Yeah, but see, I'm in the county jail watching
Everybody
everybody
gets smoked.
with charges pettier than mine. It's a dude I was like this with, bro. He robbed a McDonald's and only got $40, and they gave him 25 years. So I was paranoid about this. So my mom was supposed to get me a lawyer. She never ended up doing it. So sentencing day, I had already agreed to take the 15-7, and that was for one of the charges, one set that all three came together that I told you about.
Yeah.
And I didn't call my mom. I didn't tell her the court date because I already know she was going to, be against it or whatever. So I went in there, and it's so sad, bro, because the victim came in, and on that date, they asked him like if he wanted to speak or whatever. And he told the judge, he's just a child. I think he just made a childish mistake.
Damn.
And I really think you should send him to some type of boot camp or something.
Wow.
I don't want to see the kid get 7 years in prison. And, they still went against that anyway. They didn't care about that.
Damn, he stayed solid though, for being victimized and shit. So that's crazy. So how much time did you get altogether?
Altogether, it was a 20-9. That's once I went back and pled guilty to some other charges. And that was like years later. And it was so crazy because when I took the 7, I went to prison, I'm doing my time, and then I get what they call a TPM, a tentative parole month, basically letting you know how much time you got to do off the 7 that I got. And they had me scheduled for July of 2017, right? That means I only had to do 4 years off that 7.
Yeah.
And once July came, they sent me back to court.
Oh, man.
What they was trying to do at first, and that's why I held it off for so long, it actually was a 4-year time difference from when I pled guilty to each, because one was in 2013, one was in 17, because up during that time, they were trying to run 7 years and 9 years consecutive.
Oh, damn.
So she wanted me to complete a 7-year sentence first and then start a fresh 9-year sentence. So I just kept refusing it. We drug it out for years. And then they finally came and was like, all right, listen, these other charges, 4 of them got dismissed. One guy actually came in and admitted to some of them. So that was the reason some of them got dismissed on my part. And he was like, but the 9 still stands, but she's willing to run it concurrent now instead of consecutive. So you have both charges. You got all the charges, but you're going to do 9 years total.
Yeah.
And I was just, I thought about it for a few days, and I just called him back and was like, all right, man, come on, let's do it. We ain't about to play these games.
I mean, courts is a scary situation. You've got one life to live, man, and they're the stuff we do takes years and years, decades away from it. Anyways, all right, so you're going to the penitentiary. I'm sure you went through the same situations as I did, hearing all the rumors, some good, some bad, about prison. Was it anything like you might have been prepared for, or was it better, or was it worse than county?
It had its reasons why it was better and why it was worse. But when I first went, yeah, I definitely was extremely nervous. I was hearing all kind of stuff go down, and people gonna try to cut you up soon you get in there. It wasn't like that, but
yeah,
it was. I guess I say it was better because everybody all over the internet with phones and stuff. So now I can really communicate how I want to with people.
Oh, there's a lot of them in there.
Oh yeah, they everywhere, everywhere.
See, like when I was in, people were very quiet and low key with their cell phones. Like never out in the open, and if you did, it's like no one really knew, what was going on with the cell phones. I'm sure it's probably, and that was like 10 years ago. Was it like you walk in and people just recording shit in random places type of situations?
Man, people is recording. People is walking around, inmates like this. Yeah, what you were saying though, baby?
Oh, that's crazy.
Hey, I'm gonna holler at you in a minute. I'm talking about just wide open with it. They don't give a damn. There's cameras in the dorm. I think the staff in Georgia, I think it's like, I really believe they're starting to feel like we keep finding so many and there's not stopping nothing.
Yeah.
To the point they just like, we'll get them when we get them. But man, people don't care, bro. They out. The officer, I seen the officer doing count time one day, and the dude I'm standing next to is right here texting. And I say, bro, you don't see this lady coming up? And he waited till she was like 5 or 6 feet away and put the phone in his pocket. I know for a fact she seen it. She didn't say nothing. She just kept counting.
Yeah, that's wild, man. I mean, I've seen my share of COs doing dirt, but usually you're walking around a pod with a phone, so something's gonna happen. You know what I mean? That's crazy. Master control might see it or something. So was this in a main compound or was that reception?
No, yeah, this was the main compound.
Okay. How was it going in for your first time to this main compound? Was there issues meeting up with people, linking up with individuals, or what?
You know, it's crazy, bro. All right, we got what they call the Jackson classification and diagnostic prison that everybody got to go through first.
Uh-huh.
I went in there for 13 days. The dorm I was in was actually right across from Brian Nichols' dorm. You ever heard of him?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, that's the guy that was getting sentenced in court, and he snatched the weapon off the deputy's hip.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he hit the deputy, the judge, the DA, a bunch of police, ended up escaping or something like that. I was across from, he was on death row. So from my dorm, I'm looking at the death row building, but the dorm I was in was locked down. They only let us out to feed us and to take us to chow. And whenever they had to bring him through, they make us face the wall. We can't look at him.
Damn.
Yeah, and
I mean, was this pod always on this lockdown status, or was there something that caused it?
Yeah, right before I got there, like 2 or 3 days before, somebody had got killed in there.
Damn.
So they locked us down. We was on lockdown. I was only there for 13 days. So we was locked down the entire time I was there. And that was extremely one of the most uncomfortablest things, the 13 days of my life. This was the first time I took a shower in prison. And there's a million shower heads, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that was just, I didn't like it at all.
Yeah, and them dorm settings, showers are pretty wild to get used to.
Right. My first time here, so I'm taking a shower with my boxers on. Yeah, everybody else just, I'm like, man.
Oh, no, you in the free ball in prison.
The only thing to me that was just, I just couldn't get used to, I know it was because it was my first time. Like, people talking to you, trying to find out who you is, where you from, and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But we're in the shower naked, showering, and the dude next to me is like, hey, black. Anybody dark skinned, they gonna call him black.
Oh, God.
He like, hey, black. So I'm trying not to look at the dude. I'm looking straight like this. He like, hey, black. So I look over at him. He talking about, where you from, bro? I'm like, hey, you butt naked ask me where I'm from. It just didn't seem right, bro. But
yeah,
over time, I just started to get used to it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What they did that was dangerous that I don't understand why. Years later, I seen, as far as the commissary, they bring it to your dorm. But at this particular prison, you got to walk and go get it.
Uh huh.
And you walk a very long walk.
Yeah.
So the orderlies that used to be roaming the hallways, they used to keep a razor blade on them because you got a net bag.
Oh
So
man.
new
Yeah.
to the prison, and you got a real fat bag of food, and you walk past them, what they do, that hit your net bag with the razor blade is gonna cut it. All your food gonna drop on the floor.
Yeah.
So they got little teams of people. You might got these two guys that got net bags. Soon as your food drop on the floor, they go to picking it up. And then these two guys might be in your face like, man, get back. It's over with. We took that. You ain't getting it.
Yeah.
And, they take off running with the food. And it's like, you just got here. You don't know nobody. You probably scared. You're probably not about to do nothing about it. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
definitely people getting robbed left and right in there.
Yeah. Yeah. Was that pretty consistent throughout, your prison stay, or did it kind of slow down later on?
Throughout the entire bid that I was in there, the whole 9 years, I've seen a lot of people get robbed. But at certain prisons, depending on the structure that you have with other like-minded individuals, we'll stop it sometimes, or we might make a rule. We had a rule in one of my dorms. I was probably 4 years into prison, and we had a no robbing rule. If you rob anybody, we don't care who you is, everybody gonna whoop you and kick you out the dorm. Man, that's what I meant to say. When I left, when I told you I was there for 13 days, that was the classification prison.
Yeah.
When I left there, man, I went to another prison because you only there to get classified, so they see where you're gonna go.
Yeah.
And they made me medium security, and they sent me to this prison. This prison was so sweet, clean. I think it was only 2 or 3 years old at the time.
Oh man, nice.
Prison had air conditioning during the summer and heat during the winter.
Wow.
The staff was 85% women. It was so extremely sweet. Though the old heads that I'm listening to in the county jail and in the classification prison, they keep telling me, when you go down that road, if anybody try you, if they say anything to you, if they look at you crazy, stab them. That's how you're going to get your respect, and you're going to establish yourself so you can do your time without people messing with you. So I went to this very sweet prison, bro.
Oh, tricked it up.
They feed you good, bro. I'm talking about thick, heavy trays.
Oh, man.
You can literally go to breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and never make commissary how good, how heavy the tray is.
Yeah.
And then they'll go to screaming. Anybody want second? Like, they don't just throw it away.
Wow.
It's a private-owned prison. That's why. I'm in the dorm, get cool with some guys from Detroit. I don't know why so many people from Detroit is in this prison. It's like 10 in the same dorm.
Yeah, that's wild.
So now I'm real cool with them. We kicking it every day. And he get to arguing with somebody else. And it's a big argument. And then his homeboys get up. And then we get up. A big fight break out. And somebody gets stabbed, bro, like 6 times. We go to the hole, and they bring in everybody, they disciplinary report for why they're in the hole. Everybody's saying failure to follow instructions by staff. So I'm like, oh, that's nothing. I get mine's last. It says failure to follow instructions by staff, assault on an inmate with injury to the face,
man,
and exciting a riot. So I'm at this prison for like another 2 months. I feel like I done got away with it. One night they came in there and called my name out. They said, pack it up, you transferring. So I'm asking them the whole time, where I'm going, where I'm going, where I'm going. So they like, we don't know yet, we don't know yet. So once I get on the bus and they calling everybody's name, telling me where they going, they called my name and said, Smith State Prison.
Oh, I done some stories from there.
But this is one of the worst prisons in the state of Georgia.
Yeah.
This is one of the worst prisons in the state of Georgia. At the time they were sending me, the entire prison was just locked down for like 6 months, the entire prison, because like 4 people just got killed back to back. When I came to this prison, man, I'm here for 3.5 years. And once I got to like that third year is when I really came to conclusion that I really don't want to be here no more. Like this is dangerous. Every day of my life, I am extremely paranoid. I'm getting caught up in stupid situations. I'm watching people lose their life. So I talked to my counselor and was like, what do I need to do to get transferred? And
Mm.
she was, you got to go 6 months without a disciplinary report, 6 months without this or that. So I just tried to stay under the radar clean as possible, man, for 6 months. I did it. They sent me a letter saying your security been reduced back to medium. And I went straight to the counselor, showed her, and she put me in for a transfer.
I know you probably got a wealth of stories. You just kind of it's kind of touching the tip of the iceberg. I mean, what? So what are you going to be doing out here in the streets? You got anything planned with the comedy or anything like that?
Yeah, to be honest, it's like my god brother, a good friend of his owns a few comedy clubs right here in Atlanta, and he has offered to me numerous times to come through and do some stand up. I don't know why I've been so nervous and haven't
That
done
shit
it yet.
sounds scary, bro. Because the
I
worst
don't
feeling is when you crack a joke and nobody laughing, man. You know?
like. I got so many people specifically on TikTok that thinks I'm so hilarious. So I feel like I could really go in there and do it, but I just be a little nervous. So I just ain't did it yet. But eventually I'm gonna just go in there one night and just say bump it and I'm gonna do
Yeah, yeah, and even
it.
if it don't work out, obviously the social media side of it's working. So,
Right.
but yeah, I'm sure you got plenty more stories, man, and maybe I can have you on for a part two later on down the road with a little update or something, and you can tell us a few more. But one more question, man, before we sign out for the day. What is the biggest piece of advice to someone that you could give to someone that's going into the Georgia prison system for the first time?
For someone that's going in for the very first time, I think the biggest piece of advice I would have to give someone is try to the best of your ability to remain humble. A lot of people get caught up in what they think. Don't worry about what nobody think, because when it all comes down to it, you the one got to do your set amount of time. So, try your best. Stay out the way, man. Don't get caught up involved with people. It's trouble. Don't get caught up in no gang. Just do your time, try to stay focused, build your brain, read some books, and get out and don't make that same mistake, bro. Don't ever go back.
Where can people find you, man? You say you're on TikTok and Instagram or anything like that?
Yeah, most definitely on Instagram is Bill underscore Feezy. That's FeeZzYY. TikTok is the same thing, Bill underscore Feezy. My YouTube channel is Bill Feezy.
I'm gonna keep everything linked and pinned in the comment section description of the video for y'all to check out. But yeah, hey, let me ask you one more thing before we leave, man. One more thing. What was it like being released? How was the feeling of being released?
Bruh. I swear, bruh, it did not feel real. I think I was in there for so long. I hate to say this, but I kind of got used to it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So to actually be released, it just didn't feel real. On the intro of all my videos, if you ever check it out, I'm actually walking out. My big brother recording me walking out, and I'm smiling so hard. I got the prison clothes on. It just, I thought I was dreaming, bro. I just knew I was gonna wake up and they'd be like, count time, inmate,